We're live now, and we're live at the Battle Lab. First thing I want to go out and say is we reached 800 subscribers today on Married with Clix, so I want to thank everybody for joining us on the show and watching us regularly. It's really exciting news to be at 800. Let's go for 1,000 soon. 900 will be our next happy point, of course. I guess we got to get a competition together or something, Amber, or some kind of prize or something? Is that what we're going to do? We're going to do that. All right. So let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. Of course, we have a couple of our regulars. We have Mike, Jane, Jordan Sheffer, Jay Solomon,
the Hulk,
and new to the show, another one of our favorite guys here in the GTA. This is Tom Kerr. We needed a wild card brain to join the show, and Tom is as wild card as it gets.
That's code for chooses characters that frequently lose and then loses with them.
I don't know. You beat me in the ROC main event, so I mean,
fair point. But just by that, by a roll.
That is very true, and I will never hold that against anybody because there are dice in this game.
That's true.
All right. So,
unless you're Jake.
I heard this was a dice game.
There's dice in this game? I gotta take those out of the game. So I want to start first by talking about some previews that have happened. As a matter of fact, both of them were comic figures. We've seen the Spider-Ham and the Animal Man. So I want to start with Ham. Flickered, so is everybody still... Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Are you guys still able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can now, yeah. What is the fucking light?
My lights are flickering here. I don't know if you guys are getting the same thing.
Mine too.
Completely different part of the city, too.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to... Hopefully all of our power stays in the province of Ontario.
Yep.
So, we have up the Spider-Ham for everybody to peruse. This is the initial model shot. Very, very nice looking model. Him kind of standing over the fire hydrant. It looks very well done. Very four-way look. But let's get to the meat of this. Let's get to the dial. Let's get to the character. He's got a traded leap and climb and super senses. And when he uses super senses, he succeeds on a 4, 5, or 6, which is a really good super senses. He has charge and super strength in the first 3 clicks. Perplex on his second and third. His first click comes with his white special damage power. He can use shape change and perplex. When he uses perplex, he can't target himself. Now, it's not stopping him, of course, from targeting opposing characters. He unfortunately has no range. Pretty basic combat symbols. The Spider-Man team ability, which is, of course, a wild card. And he comes in at 99 points. So I want to get first the New Blood's opinion. Tom, thoughts on the Spider-Ham?
All right. Are we talking viability as a meta piece or the most fun piece that you'll ever own and will play every day?
Both.
Because he is a pig that is dressed up like Spider-Man, so I see no reason not to play him on every team for the next year or so. But that notwithstanding, he's okay. The lack of range is the only thing that actually keeps him from being the best Spider-Man dial we've seen in a long time, in spite of not being Spider-Man. That awesome super senses and shape change is already a great combination. Then making it 4 through 6 makes it that much better. There's just so many ways to counter that already exist in the world that it's not maybe going to work out to be as useful as it looks like on paper. And that opening 10 attack is okay, but he could use a perplex on himself at the very moment that he can't. So he seems like a ton of fun. I don't know that I'll be playing him a lot if I want to win, but then again, I want to play pig dressed up as Spider-Man, so I'm already winning, I think.
In life.
All right, Michael, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, once again, Spider-Ham is a pretty entertaining character. I definitely will be playing with him in casual games, but I don't think I'd be able to use him competitively. I mean, 99 points, I could put a sniper rifle on him, make him a little bit more interesting in that way, but that just negates the super strength at the beginning of the dial, and I don't know, I just don't find him all that compelling. That seems to be a pattern with the new ones that are just being previewed right now, the new Connex ones. The I mean, shape change and perplex, sure, great, fantastic. I wish he had a prop, but I just want everybody to have prop.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. Jordan.
I'm really disappointed with this figure. I feel like out of all the Spider-Man figures we just recently saw with Spider-Verse, they had only 50 better choices to choose. But then again, Tom really likes Spider-Man Pig, so we got Spider-Ham there. I'm not a big fan. I feel like he was kind of comic relief. He was almost just like New Age Deadpool, but in Spider-Verse. But dial-wise, I feel like for 99 points, just AVX, AVX Spider-Man's just the Spider-Man to go to, in my opinion. And I'm not a big fan. The no defense power at the beginning, other than the shape change and super sense, which can be very easily, I guess, fought against. And one of the other cons that they showed, I feel like for less points, could very easily match this figure.
Agreed. Exceed it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay?
Yeah, basically the same. I like him non-meta. I'm also pissed that he's 99 and not 100 points to pick up Ultra Heavies. Looks nice. I want to win one. Don't want to trade for one.
Probably going to be a pricey.
He's not. I mean, there's not that many characters that ignore senses and shape change, except for like Engineer and that one guy Gardner. So it's not like he'll be killed instantly, but like this is not meta.
Yeah.
But not that I necessarily want. I don't necessarily want con exclusives to be meta, because then it's just so much pay to win.
Yeah.
Which is why I still don't have a fucking Batmite. So
I think that's a good point. And also, if the con exclusives are introducing something that we've never seen before, then automatically everyone's going to get all excited to do that thing. So he's not introducing any new mechanics, which is kind of cool. He's just optimizing a few existing ones.
Mm-hmm.
My only thoughts on this in regards to, like, everybody shares similar thoughts. I mean, one extra point, you get the AVX starter Spider-Man, so he's already 100 times better with ignoring everything, range, and a bunch of stuff to work with, as well as the ability to pick up an Ultra Heavy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't know that. I get this, but not a Howard the Duck that's modern age still.
we still have the duo.
It will happen. It will happen.
I want my Master of Quack Fu to split from my Howard the Duck and Man thing before they disappear from the golden or into Golden Age again. Oh, all right.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's my weeping.
There's absolutely.
How do you cry? Is that like your actual cry?
No.
I am probably
That
gonna
was
want
pretty
this.
bad, man.
I do want to point out I am gonna want this Spider-Ham after the eventual Spider-Verse set that they do at the end of this year.
I'm sure.
Stop trying to make Spider-Gwen happen.
And I do want to point out too that he does have the animal keyword, so he's good friends with Alyosha Craven.
We better get her.
He's also
better
a
get her.
scientist.
And a scientist, yes. But we move on now to the DC adding of the previews. We have Animal Man. Now, Animal Man fits into a much weirder category. I don't. This looks like it's not translucent plastic, but more of a solid white, or more of that foggy, almost kind of like Lust was. It's kind of translucent. There it is, right there. But getting to the meat of it, his dial itself doesn't share a lot of surprises. He's got charge, invulnerability, and close combat expert on his first click, which switches to Blade's Claws and 18 defense with defend and 3 damage, 9 attack. Like, mediocre stats. He's a 75-point character, which kind of makes the stats kind of make sense to a degree. As well, he does fly, which is cool. And he's got a white power late in his dial, white attack or damage power. He can use exploit weakness, but only to target characters not on their first click. But it's his trait, which really makes him different. At the beginning of your turn, give Animal Man a free action and choose a standard power from the character card of a character on your sideline with the animal keyword and 200 points or less. Animal Man can use that power until you choose again. Now, there's a large selection of animals that do have a great selection of powers. I think just about every power is covered if you do decide to go with just a bunch of like a good selection of animals in your sideline, but they do take up slots for replacement characters, so you kind of have to be careful of that. We were talking about this actually before the show, where there is a limit somewhere in the tournament rules guides or something like that. I remember seeing it where it was three sideline characters per every 100 point of the build. So in a standard tournament build, you're looking at 9 possible sideline characters you're allowed. So if somehow you've got a strategy that relies on duos or some form of replacement characters, these animals that you're bringing in your sideline are going to replace them. Now, of course, to my understanding of the ability, I don't know how this is actually fully going to function in the tournament. But I do want to get some thoughts. Let's start with Tom.
All right. I did my research on this figure, and then I forgot my research at work, so I can't speak to all the intelligent things I was thinking. Because when I first saw the preview, I for some reason thought that the sideline was limited to just a total point value no greater than the point value of the build, for some reason.
Right.
And that's maybe based on absolutely nothing. But pretending it was based on something, then I figured I created a spreadsheet of all the different powers, and then went through every modern age animal, listed its point value, and put X's down based on what powers they had to try to build the team that would give me the most powers at 300 points. And it was something like Sauron from the X-Men,
Yep.
and the Catwoman from DC 10th, the Gorilla City Soldier from Flash was in there, 30-point Loki, and a gray flock of bats. And it somehow it was exactly 300 points, and it gave so many powers. I mean, you have your Outwit, your Perplex, and your Prob. Loki's giving a lot of that, and I think Sauron's giving some Perplex in there. You've got Hypersonic and Charge. There's Plasticity, there's Poison, there's Super Strength, there's Blades, and a lot more besides. Again, I forgot the spreadsheet at work, so I can't really speak to all the smart work that I did. But I was just thinking about it. Like you get a lot for 75 points. And considering we're living in the age of pick a power being cool, as much as the Green Lantern battery can really shut it down, I like the fact that he functions well enough without needing it, so that even if somebody is playing the Green Lantern battery, you just pick your powers on the turns where you're not going to give them any other action, and see if you can use them effectively. Pick Prob or whatever that doesn't require an action. And then otherwise, you just go to town. I think that for 75 points, he's fantastic. He also has so many powers for exactly one place on his dial that I'm convinced that they were designing him to be played with himself. If you just choose him to be on your sideline, then you've got Hypersonic and Charge and Blades and Super Strength and Invulnerability and Defend and Super. Well, anyway, you know the list, but you get all that on the side too. So I think he's really cool for 75 points. I think you get quite a lot for him.
Yep. Now, Mike, you've been singing a different song recently with regards to Animal Man.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of my absolute favorite characters, so it's not necessarily a meta gripe. It's just that I think what I had in my head does not quite match this. I was hoping for some kind of trait copy, getting really strange and weird there. But I mean, the copying the sideline character is kind of interesting because it is like copying or embodying the animal, through the red, all that. One of the things that Tom was saying about the green battery kind of disabling it because of the free action limitation is interesting with this character because the trait itself is, once you choose it, you don't have to choose it again at the beginning of your next turn. You get to keep the power until you choose again.
That's true.
So you can just pick something that you really, really like. Maybe pair him with like a relic, like a hammer, so you have running shot, and then you have running shot pulse wave.
Yep.
Absolutely. Right off the top.
Mm-hmm.
+2 to your attack as well.
All right, Jordan, your turn to rhyme in.
I don't think he's necessarily the most meta of figures, even though I do really like him. I feel like for 75 points, his stats are decent, especially in if we're playing tactics specifically. We can bump those stats up like nothing, especially in the current meta as of right now. Mike just mentioned the Book of Skulls, which is the best at pumping stats. So if he had a hammer, his minimum attack is looking at an 11. So that's really nice. And then pick a power. Instantly I was like 200-point Serpent. Because this says points powers on his card. So far as I'm concerned, that means every single power that's on all of his dials because you picked the 200-point Serpent.
Now, yeah, where I think we're going to get fudged on the rulings is the Serpent's card itself does actually divide into the point sets.
Okay.
So, like, you'll see under 200 points the powers that are going to be under there, and under 1,000 points what powers are going to be there.
Cool.
So I think the Serpent kind of curbs that itself. But there may be other animals, I haven't looked through it myself, that have multiple point values where you might be able to take advantage of that.
Loki is a good example of that. Loki with the wolf.
That's right. Well, and he's also, but he's still under 200 at 100 points.
True, but this is the kind of question of whether your sideline has a point limit. That's kind of what I would think.
What I do definitely understand is the sideline doesn't have a point limit, as my team at Nationals could tell you. My sideline was pretty close to another 300 points in itself with the Black Lantern Batman, the 10th anniversary 97-point Storm. I had the replacement Iron Man at 75 points, the one that would replace Tony Stark from Iron Man 3. And what was the other one that I had replacing? Storm, Batman. Oh, and the Captain America Skrull. So right there is another more than 300 points in it itself.
Very true.
It's a figure limit for sideline.
Okay.
Is that the Loki you're talking about?
That's
Yep.
Big old Wolfie, because he does have the animal keyword.
Mhm.
But
Jay,
yeah,
it's your turn to rhyme in.
I was just gonna say at 200 points, he's still got Prob, Steel Energy, Impervious, and Shape Change, Charge, Steel Energy, Exploit Weakness, and Phasing. So it's still a really good figure to choose.
Yep. You get Invincible from a few too.
Mm-hmm.
Jay?
Decent for 75 points. Sideline isn't really an issue given any of his keywords. Like, there's no Forgotten Heroes duo. There's gonna be like a Justice League duo, maybe a Mystical duo, but like that's not really a concern because I think that if you're worried about the sideline or whatever, that shouldn't be an issue. But having to have the sideline thing is a kind of a waste of time, considering that you'll have every power anyway. And then you're going to waste time during the game sorting through your cards, and then, like, as if stalling and games going to time doesn't happen already, they're just going to waste more time when they may as well have just given him pick a power. And you have to lug all that stuff to every single game, like...
It might not be too much. You might only need 3 figures, though. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to want to bring the Serpent to a game or a sideline just to be like, pick a power. He can just have pick a power. It doesn't do anything gameplay-wise. It just wastes time and makes you bring extra things to the tournament.
That's what it's actually called. The subtitle for the trait is Lug Your Extra Crap.
Flavor text.
And waste time going through your card. It's dumb. Good?
Half an hour later. I knew there was smoke cloud in here somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like it limits pick a power though, and he's not necessarily a character who can do everything. So
You're gonna have
it more lore wise.
I highly doubt that there's any power that animals don't have. Like off the top of my head, like
Support. I can tell you that there's none that have support in the modern age animals anyway.
No.
Tom.
well, no. Who plays Modern Age anyway?
Good retort.
Only the entire, competitive.
So when was Nationals again?
I'll just take out the powers listed on the card for my Infinity Challenge figures.
Yeah, you might not get 1 or 2 powers, but just the way the mechanic works is it's just dumb. He may as well just have pick pick 1 power normally.
I'll take pick a power for 75 points.
Actually, the White Lantern Animal Man has support and is the only one.
Really?
That's
But
kind of
isn't
funny.
That's golden now.
That's golden. I'm just saying, but yeah, okay, in modern there is no support, but like
Yeah.
it's just it's so dumb. I mean, he's good, but I'm just really annoyed and like.
Someone does have a White Lantern Animal Man.
No,
I will pay money for that.
I have a rare
Long
animal
ago.
man from DC
that's
70.
mine.
You should
I
give
find that from you, Jordan.
I would give that to you, Jay, but it's Mike here. Animal Man fan number 1.
Okay. I see how it is.
That's how it is.
My only real add-on to this whole conversation is, personally, I think it's worth it to bring the serpent to the table, slam it on the table, and then put it beside the table. My opponent looks in relief and goes, "Oh, thank God."
Well, that's not on the team.
Oh, he's just on the side for him as I put the 75-point Animal Man down.
He's just watching.
Total troll move. On the subject of troll moves, I think it's worth mentioning, if you are a regular to HC Realms, there is a post that could frighten you if you're a fan of the ROC, and that would be the important announcement that got listed. I want to break this now so that nobody else is caught by it.
It really bummed me out.
Oh, they changed it to a spoiler. That's nice.
They scared me at first. They're like, "Oh my goodness! Oh my God! They're canceling the ROC." They're
getting into it.
Yeah. So the ROC lives on. All can relax.
I lost my interest. I moved on.
Yep.
Tactics are starting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's coming up. Tactics is coming back into the ROC tournaments.
Didn't we know that? I thought we knew that.
Yep.
Yeah,
we all kind of knew it. We were keeping track of it. Sometimes they do have to remind people after a certain amount of time where everybody will be coming in. I get questions like, I know we're talking about provincials soon with regards to the state provincial championships that are being held in North America. And I don't know if they're doing it in Europe or anything like that. I think they just got some ROC support out there. But, when we're talking about that, a lot of people are like, is this going to be the no tactics format? And I keep telling people, no, that's past April. It is going to be the full tactics format. What I do like, too, is that the state provincials are actually dated after Worlds. Worlds being, I believe, early June, and then the state provincials are late June, June 28th that weekend. So they actually don't clash with the Major WizKids event, which is really great. And then of course there's the Rocktober, as they call it, the big event in Atlanta. I guess I gotta start collecting more points for that again soon.
You're at what, 7 now?
I'm at 7 myself right now. I haven't been doing too fantastically in tournaments lately.
Better than me. I got zilch.
I got 2, and then I gave them to you.
Yeah, that's
what
what
rhymed.
You're the reason I have 7, Jay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Is there any way to get them other than participating in the Rocks?
You can buy them off of people.
Oh, perfect.
They are
Perfect.
The game doesn't cost enough money. That's the biggest problem with Heroclix. Too cheap. We need more sources of losing revenue.
Yeah, exactly. We need more ways to spend money, like the NCAA, right? They need to find more ways to spend money to stay as a nonprofit.
I'm up to 6 myself.
Yep, and that would be the Winamap, and actually, yeah, you topped 8 at the ROC. So
Yeah.
You got a lot of points.
Well, a lot is putting it very kindly.
It's
But I did get a hat, and I got a map. So I'm happy.
You got more hat and map than anybody else in this chat right now.
True.
My hat is last year and was sent to me by our wonderful sponsors over at Majestic. Oh.
I won the tournament as far as I'm concerned, so suck it. I did, though. I literally would have defeated... Yeah, I would have... If I hadn't fucking misspoke, I would have killed his Batman, and then all that would have been left was 2 Star Lab decks versus my whole team. So, shut up.
Well, I mean,
Except for the fact that I actually lost. But
I'm
moral victory.
nothing to say. Except you didn't do a cut to top 4. And
What you're saying is you won it with imagination.
I did... Shut up, Mike. No one likes you.
I win a lot of tournaments with imagination. Too bad.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, I won Worlds last year with an imagination. I don't know what you're talking about. Heck, I was even there with imagination.
Dude, my imagination's stronger than yours.
I think I still lost with my imagination Worlds last year. That was rough.
Actually, Andre wasn't out yet, so you couldn't have won.
Are you going to American Nationals, Tom?
Sorry?
Are you going to American Nationals?
I don't know. I'm going to try to go to Canadian, but where is American Nationals?
I don't.
Glen Burnie, Maryland, as a matter of fact. I don't know the exact location. I'll do some digging right now. But
Maryland's probably close enough for me. Yeah.
yeah.
It's on the 11th of April. So it's 2 in 1 month. I'm going to the Canadian one on the 24th, right?
Yeah.
Is it 24th or 25th?
Where I am looking at
Both, I thought.
Well, it's a 2-day event, but I was trying to remember what.
25.
The Canadian one's the April 25th and 26th at Carta Magica in Ottawa, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran a great show last year, and I'm really looking forward to having some fun and playing again this year.
It'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, that was tons of fun.
Are you making it down to the U.S.?
Anyone?
Myself, I'm not. I'm definitely not going to the U.S. one. I'm still working my way through the paperwork. That is me being lazy.
It is that day. It is Passover as well as my 6-month anniversary with my girlfriend. So either God or she will kill me if I go.
Not the same person.
Okay, so I do have the listing here from the WizKids website for the American Nationals. It's going to be April 11th and 12th at Games and Stuff in Baltimore. At 7385 Baltimore Annapolis Boulevard in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
We have games and stuff.
What kind of stuff?
I do actually believe that this is the store that is backed by Brian Rupp. They had a really big con exclusive tournament over the summer. That was really when I actually asked him how the tournament went at 10 p.m. He said it was still going. So
wow. That's crazy.
My understanding is a very popular place to play. One of the big things that's different from our nationals and their nationals is that I believe the main event. Come on, there we go. The qualifier to get into day 2, it's all one tournament at 128 player maximum entry, and it's all sealed.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Where we have 4 separate grinders to do each with 32 players, alternating between constructed, sealed, constructed, sealed. This one is straight. You get one chance at it. Out of the 128 player maximum, 32 will make it into the day 2 event, and it's all in sealed. I haven't actually done the math on what your record can be to make the top 32, but it looks like it has to be pretty strong. At least I think it's I don't know how many. It says multiple Swiss rounds, so I don't know exactly how many rounds it's going to be. It probably is going to vary based on the number of players that enter. And I don't know.
Like it's probably going to be around 6 by the numbers.
Yeah.
6 rounds of Swiss, and then they'll probably cut. But even then, they might have to cut twice.
And here's the thing: is the cut's only going to happen once to the 32 for the day 2, and that's really the only cut that's going to matter, right? And then they're gonna do Swiss rounds on day 2 to cut the top 8, and then that top 8 will be single elimination.
Well, if you pull poorly, then you're going to be looking at some figures that make you very angry for a very long time at that point.
There will be some 1,000 figures that are not attached anymore if it was me.
Just looking at that Blackguard inmate going, what? And what was I thinking? Oh,
what are the packs for that event?
Based on the timeline, April 11th, we don't have another set coming out. It's probably going to be Trinity War. So
she doesn't like Trinity War.
And I mean, let's be honest, at 300 points sealed, you might see a lot of Martian Manhunters and Supermans in the tops.
I barely beat Martian Manhunter in fucking Constructed.
I'm kidding. Yeah, he's a nightmare to fight in Constructed. Now, that said, if you aren't faring so well in the main event, there are going to, of course, be side events. There's going to be the Battle Royales, which I don't know if anybody has ever played them in the con environment. I know Mike might have, and Jordan, your experience would be similar at ROC. They're a ton of fun, where you're drafting figures, playing with what you get, and trying to get those con LEs. So those are always cool events. They're doing a team Battle Royale setup as well, which I think they actually planned for Quebec. This is, of course, assuming that you have the time. And this is a big event that I think I've talked about before, but is really very awesome, and it's the Zombie Apocalypse event. There's a 50-player maximum for this. It's a 4-booster, 400-point sealed. but is specific to Teen Titans, Invincible Iron Man, Superman, and Legion of Superheroes, and Deadpool for your 4 packs. And everybody who enters this tournament at a $80 entry fee gets a zombie.
That's awesome.
You're guaranteed a zombie. Plus, you also get the chance of getting another zombie from the Deadpool pack.
Yeah.
And then you also have the possibility of getting into the top 6, where you get to draft figures from factory sets of Flash, War of Light, and it says "and more." So I don't know what are the factory sets they've acquired.
But Deadpool and Galactic Guardians just means more zombies.
Yep.
Wait, what date is Avengers Assemble supposed to release?
I believe Avengers Assembled is dated for May.
Oh,
Sorry, that's what the retailer solicit, I believe, says.
but Scott Porter already has it. Can we all just steal his case?
Well, I've been trying to be nice to WizKids and being like, can we get stuff for review? We can
Stop
love
casting,
stuff.
you motherfucker.
Kids, give us the things.
Can
We're
we
going
have
to do videos with
stuff?
Attack Wing, Dragon Dungeons and Dragons Attack Wing. Us trying to learn it.
I like dragons.
I'd really like to be down for the Zombie Apocalypse event just to watch the nerd rage explosion when it turns out that everyone's getting the zombie, the Amazing Spider-Man. Or just a whole bunch of Zoovembis. You just sit down and you look over the prize table and just see a suite of Zoovembis and know you've come a long way for very little.
I honestly would love to just come with a bag of them, not even mentioning that I have nothing to do with the tournament, and just
That
hand
is so good.
Yeah,
how the actions go.
that'd be a good gag to pull. For sure.
And just run.
Wait, what is this for? Oh, it's your zombie for participating in the tournament. What?
I think Jordan's got the right face right there. He's like, face. Face.
You know, you say that, but the zombie is actually such a fucking good piece. It's not even funny.
I would not pay $80 for 4 boosters and the zombie. Okay.
Come on, man. He has 10 and 3 on every click. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's going to be modern age for at least 2 or 3 more months. You're going to get right there.
Oh my god. Oh, that's the most brilliant prank ever. This is why we brought Tom on.
Yeah, the prankery.
Oh my goodness. So now that we're done talking about how they could possibly prank them, they're also going to be running Dice Masters, and I believe they're going to be running Attack Wing Nationals at this event as well. Similar even to our own at Carta Magica, as they will be, as I'm pulling up the site right now. Carta Magica.
Oh, did you see that? I don't know if you mentioned this already, but did you see that Avengers: Age of Ultron, the movie set's going to be out in April as well? So it might be
Absolutely.
Tiny, though.
it's something.
It's like 8 commons, 4 rares, and chase, and then whatever target ends up being. So probably 4
Wait,
more
that's
figures and a chase. It's a tiny ass set.
And then
13
the
figures?
Fast Forces as well.
Oh yeah, but like there's gonna be yeah.
Captain America was, or any of the other movie sets have been recently, where they have a chase, you have a couple rares, and you have a couple commons, right? I mean,
Galactic Guardians movie was like that, and there were lots of good pieces in that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Captain
just
America set was
Trinity War where we have a
Winter
target.
Soldier,
Wait a minute.
because I got almost 2 sets in my gravity feed. I was short a second Brock Rumlow, but I got the chase. So I mean that was the distribution of it previously. I don't see.
I mean, with the starter set, Galactic Guardians, the movie, had 24. Captain America, Winter Soldier had 30. Even Batman Arkham Origins had 21. Thor Dark World, 34. Batman TV, 17. I think that's just like really like.
there isn't
The Iron Man movie had at least 2 or 3 figures that weren't Iron Man.
Yeah, and we're not going to be getting Target exclusives anymore.
Yeah.
Or I mean, at least not in Canada.
we're a third world country again. Yeah.
That's not even why I mentioned it though. It's just the addition to the meta, possibly. You know,
Yeah.
that people
That's a possibility. It is.
True. But they might be later in the month of April, so we might not.
It might not be
that's
legal.
them in American Nationals. There is a good chance we'll see them in our Nationals. That's
Right.
how I would see it at best. It's
If they
also
are meta.
where me and Amber finally get a chance to start our rules show that we're planning on doing, because we were actually more or less waiting on a new starter set to do that. Which could also explain, for those of you who are judges and usually use Heroclix website, just a heads up, they've taken down the player's guides on the Heroclix.com site. Amber has moved them to our blog at marriedwithclicksbattlereport.wordpress.com. Holy, that's even hard to say.
It's right off the tongue, isn't it?
Yeah.
She has moved the PDFs to that location so that you can, if for those last couple of weeks before we get a new starter, you need those last little rulings for tournaments that are still occurring. They are there. But they've also started on the rules forum, putting up the erratas and clarifications from the figures that were in there already, and been sorting them by sets. So it's actually very easy if you've ever used the search function in the forum to just kind of go tick, 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 what am I looking for with the figure? And if there's multiple figures with the same name, you can actually go further and advance the search between the current results. So
That's what we have Married with Clicks for, though.
Yeah.
Dial it up. It's a wonderful, wonderful show, right, Amber? Still don't understand how she was the first one to get that for a Heroclix show. Every podcast and YouTube channel hates us for having that. So, while we're thinking of some topics to go on, what's that?
Can't we talk about those new sculpts from today? That includes the Hulk.
Yes, let's talk about the Hulk, shall we?
All right.
Dude.
I will pull up the image of the Hulk in the meantime.
There's also what was it? There was Falcon, and I can't remember another new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I like those. I know that Captain America definitely looked familiar to me.
Everything, yeah. The only new ones were the Falcon and the Hulk.
Right.
But then we also saw the starter, the Avengers Classic lineup Hulk, who looks like he has so many birth defects.
He looks like he's getting smaller as he goes down. Like there's a forced perspective of sculpt.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'm trying to find the image. Do you know which group had the three images?
I found it from Illuminati. It's what's it called? That magazine.
It's conversation on that. Oh no, I can actually. You can look up the specific images on that. Hold on.
What's that website called? The one, Game Trade Magazine.
Game Trade Magazine.
Yeah, that's
Something like that.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
on a completely unrelated subject,
yeah.
while you're looking for that, does anyone know? Is there a major tournament happening before U.S. Nationals that is with the full tactics rules and everything, or is that the first one back? Like, is that the first one we're going to see what everybody has been playing around with for the last several months while we've been living under the no tactics umbrella?
in North America, I'm not 100% sure. I do know that Australia will have an ROC during that period of time. Getting information from it will be the tricky part in a reasonable amount of time. As you can imagine, there's going to be the information freeze as stuff is trying to come out. We're trying to get as much as we can from it. God damn it!
Yeah, I sent it to you.
All right. You know what? I'm just gonna pull up the image that Jay shared with us. It was
I
wonderful.
just sent you the thing.
All right, send me the link.
I did.
Did you?
On Facebook, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the Captain America, I like the detail on his chainmail, and he has a chin thing. It's cute.
Oh, the chin strap. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. There we go. And,
Chin strap Hulk.
all right. So we got the
Keep straps for all the Avengers.
magazine. So a very dynamic Captain America sculpt, which is actually very exciting. A lot of the time, Captain America gets shown charging with his shield, or I guess we had the jumping over the rocks cap that was kind of throwing a shield. But
Why is that effect red?
It's Steve Rogers. Who cares?
Why is it? What's that? Why is that red though? What is that? What is that?
what's this? This red streak?
Yeah. What is
Yeah,
that?
it's the,
I
that's
guess
the
it's
shield.
The color
It's
from
an actual shield, I
going
guess.
so
Okay.
fast coming back to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair
Just
enough.
picked up
Tom can gush now.
from the air. So
Oh, that's so good.
Toasty!
I do want to say, usually the 3D models are hardly the end result, But if you look at the size and the scaling of this figure, there is a good chance that what we're seeing is going to be very close to what we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like where I think we're going to maybe see the most issues with regards to sculpt. The end sculpt will be the teeth. But overall, this looks like a very hard figure to actually mess up when you look at the size of it.
Yeah.
He looks kind of like the picture here behind me.
Right now, he has the Arnold gap in his teeth, even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he does.
I like.
He looks awesome. He looks like a piece I'll play a lot.
He sucks.
Unless you don't get him because he's a chase.
Can you play more than Hulk robots?
Tom will get him anyway. Don't be worried about Tom getting that Hulk.
I'll find a way. Those Hulk robots.
Oh, this is Avengers Assemble. I thought it was Age of Ultron. Okay, much more attainable.
So we have the Falcon here, very nice looking model. We're getting more dynamic sculpts, and I think we actually had a different design team working on Trinity War than we had working on Flash and possibly this set, because there's a lot of dynamic poses and action going on in these sculpts in comparison to Trinity War.
What you talk about, Willis? We both know WizKids don't have 2 design teams. They don't have money for that.
Okay, 2 design guys.
They've just got design rubrics. They say, okay, is this going to be a waiting for the bus set? And if so, then they are all waiting for that bus.
Yeah.
We got a good look at Jarvis coming up, which is kind of exciting. Probably another support character of some sorts. I think Jarvis is going to be one of those guys you want for the ID card. But give me a second as I describe that. I believe this is Swordmaster that we're getting another. I can't believe this is actually a character we're getting a second of. Swordsman. Because I believe we had this guy before.
Sinister.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
49 points, and actually not a bad looking sculpt either.
Yeah. So, and then of course we have the ID cards, which are going to be linked to the table resource and some more poker chips. I gotta pass on these ones. There is a Green Hulk one though. Oh, come on.
Yep.
There's 2 different ones.
Is that Maria Hill? Holy crap.
I'm getting both of them. I don't care.
Miss Marvel. Oh, no, the Black Panther. Oh my god, I need all
put
these.
Miss Marvel and Iron Man in 2 different ones, so it's like, hey, Jordan, you need them all.
Yep.
Yeah, those are basically the only characters that you even want in either of these.
They pretty much guaranteed we're all going to want them all. They've got the Hulk in one, and in the other one, it's sitting next to one that has the Hulk in it, so...
Yeah. I feel like me and Tom are going to be purchasing like 8 of these ones just to get the Hulk tokens.
Yeah.
I envision myself using them.
And then, of course, these dice are more likely going to be translucent. Right now, the image shows something that looks very similar to the AVX dice. And I don't think that this is going to be the end result. I think they're going to be like the Justice League ones, which were see-through blue plastic, and they look very nice. And of course, this is kind of a relief of sorts. The Fast Forces is going to have different models than what's in the set.
That's cool.
Which is entirely new.
Like, I don't know. They might be the same as some figures that are in the set, but nothing that we've seen so far. But yeah,
that Thor is a L'Oreal commercial. I love it.
Remember that issue where the Hulk's head was bigger than his thighs? There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Blockhead Hulk.
We can't forget the Hank collector set.
Well, I can forget it.
This one, I'm a little iffy about. If the figures end up being functioning exactly the same as everything that's packaged in here before, I might be very upset with the idea of it altogether. I do like the idea that we are at least getting one new sculpt out of this in this character. This is the Goliath, I believe.
The Yellow Jacket's new also.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that not the same? Oh yeah, no. Secret Invasion was waiting for the bus. So yeah,
but we're also getting a Puck, and Pucks are the best figures in the game now. So, so is he.
Your team is unhittable and works really well if it doesn't have figures on it.
Yep.
Atomic is better than Despotelis. Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can move under her own power.
Well, pardon?
Hmm?
What'd you say about her own power?
I said that she can move under her own power, so that is something.
And attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually had her do some attacking.
With precision strike, I might add.
Or yeah, or she pushes to 10 and 2 with exploit and also has range. Like,
I love this brief window where she's playable in the no tactics format, so that there's no downside to her using her prob at all. Love it.
oh yeah, like somebody was like, "Oh, show me her card. I don't want to know what she does." I'm like, this literally has no impact on this game because no tactics.
Absolutely. She's worth every single one of those 25 points unless Mike Kane rolls 8 3 times in a row.
Jeebus.
And then I can prob it anyway.
Probability laws apparently don't exist.
It would seem.
Yeah.
Oh man. Actually, it's another point I got to make is I had a wonderful game with George Masu that for all the complaining I do about Mike beating me, I kind of did it to him too. So things happen in this game when the dice start moving, and it's hard to be angry at the result regardless of the probability of it all.
I did the same thing. I had last click Tim Hunter end up killing almost all of Masu's team because I rolled both of the Super Sense rolls of the hits he actually made.
His team was really cool, and he looked like he just didn't feel like rolling dice to make any attacks as well.
Yeah.
And I liked his build myself. I wish it could have had a little bit better luck with some of those outrageous things that could have happened to it. Some Super Sense rolls happened against him. Attacks that should have missed hit, that kind of idea. So that's unfortunately the way the cookie crumbles in that sense. But anything else anybody wants to add? Because I'm all out of topics today.
I don't know whether this is the right forum for it, but the Canadian Nationals, I think the U.S. Nationals too, the winner gets to design an ATA. I'd be interested to know if anybody would want to design if they got the opportunity to make an ATA.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go around the table. Tom, you get to start even.
All right. Honestly, the only thing, I don't exactly know what it would do mechanically. What I think we really need is something to deal with the minions of Doom. Every time, Doom and his Doom bots, unless you can conveniently put them onto a team with somebody who doesn't belong there and is giving them a half-decent team ability, their wild card is almost always going to waste. And it just seems like a real shame for Dr. Doom to have to rely on anybody else to give him something cool. So I think that a Minions of Doom ATA that would do something to the effect of either countering an opposing ATA
or the Spider-Man family.
Yes, something like that. I mean, they've done it with Spider-Man, they've done it with Legion, they've given us ATAs that allow wildcards to do something if you're not able to build a wildcard team. And I would love to see it with Doom, only something a bit more insidious, where it's kind of about maybe... the one idea that I had, even though I don't think it's fully formed, is that you could give somebody who is using the ATA a free action to counter an opposing character's team ability for the duration of one action. So it's basically a Doombot goes up and takes a free action to counter Batman ally, and then Doom gets to take a shot at him. And then the Batman ally comes right back, because it's only for the duration of one action, but you can take one action with the TA with it. I don't know. It's not a great idea, but I just think that Doom needs something to make Doom
It's a cool idea. I like it.
Yeah.
Can I? Tom,
I would.
At birth?
Yeah. Sorry?
Were we separated at birth because I'm a Hulk fan, you're a Hulk fan, I'm a Doom fan, you're a Doom fan?
Get out of my head, Jason.
What are you doing in here?
I like Skrulls.
I don't know who I would attach this ability to, but I was thinking about designing an ATA wherein you can make the opposing characters reroll their super senses and shape change on your attacks. Just something simple like that, where if you already have prob, you're able to do that. Something really cheap, but I don't know. I think it would be cool to be able to do that because I don't know how many times.
Kind of like psychic type power, or
yeah, exactly. Something to do with some kind of a psychic team or whatever.
Gorilla Grodd has a psychic keyword. It's coming back.
Oh, House of M. There you go.
Hey.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And perfect.
Jordan, if you had...
I think I would just be that person that either made another X-Men ATA, because that's just who I am. but I'd really like to make a lights ATA to go with my champion figure of Hope Summers. So it would just work out really well.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or like a Speed Force ATA because I want to make a Barry Allen too. Got to win 2 years in a row.
Jay?
Did I miss what you said, or did you not go yet? Because I got dropped.
Well, we're talking about ATAs we would make if we.
No, I know what you said, but did you say what yours would be?
I haven't said anything yet.
Okay, because you said
Tom?
Doctor Doom. I would have wanted. I don't know. Doctor Doom is cool. So I do with theme teams because like there's so many theme teams you should be able to play that you can't because keywords. So like, I was thinking one to combine Hydra and Shield because that's fun.
Hydra Shield.
Nice.
Uh,
Or the Justice League Cacophony or something like that.
Yeah, that
Or maybe the Batman Family, Gotham City, Arkham Asylum, kerfluffle nonsense. It just really annoys me.
I think he got dropped as well.
I think Jay's internet just kind of cut out.
he was so annoyed that he stormed off of the hangout.
But yeah, as he said, an ATA that allowed you to play JLA, Justice League, JLI, and Justice League of America together because fuck, they've all been in the same TV shows,
No
comic
kidding.
books, everything together.
There you go, Jordan. That can be your X one too.
Yeah.
Or X Force and X Factor and X Men.
No. An ATA that allows me to make magic themed to the X-Men because they still haven't fixed that keyword.
An APA that only applies to one character.
Magic of the P5 variety has the X-Men keyword. This costs no points, and you can only apply it to P5 magic from one.
All right, so it seems
Keyword.
we have lost Jay to unfortunate internet issues. I haven't actually given any thought into what I would make for an ATA. I would probably do an alternative to Heroes for Hire, more based on an Iron Fist, Luke Cage kind of ideal of Heroes for Hire, where the one that they created was kind of that we have all this money, we have this extra resources, and that's kind of how the design of it works out. Is like we have all these extra resources to do more stuff. I think an Iron Fist, Luke Cage one would probably be some form of a gain from hitting your opponent, so they do the work and then they get the gains from it. And it would be something like every time they KO an opposing character, they get +1 attack. Something to that effect is probably what I would go for because my personal Heroes for Hire is the original Power Man and Iron Fist combination of Heroes for Hire. I'm not too attached to the current iterations of it, and I kind of like my old duo of guys. And I really can't wait to see my TV shows with them in it.
That's soon, isn't it, too?
Nationals is the day after Daredevil comes out. I mean, there's going to be a lot of sleepy people there because everybody's going to be binge watching that on the Friday. This is a Netflix series.
Gotta savor that.
Yeah. Oh, November or April 10th. I'm not feeling well. It's going to be a Netflix series, so it's going to be released en masse. Like, everything's going to be there. So
you binge it right away.
Are there servers ready for this?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen the latest preview with Kingpin, D'Onofrio's Kingpin?
I did see I saw him in motion. Unfortunately, I had the sound off because I was at work. So I do actually have to rewatch that preview, but I'm really excited. The first time I saw D'Onofrio without his hair, I was sold because he's put on quite a bit of weight since I last seen him in any movies. And he's really starting to fit that Kingpin stature. So
it's funny to take the whole statement out of context. Just the first time I saw D'Onofrio with no hair and he put on a lot of weight, I was like, yeah, that's my kind of D'Onofrio.
To be fair, I always liked Michael Clark Duncan, though.
There's either him or Val Kilmer in that role. Have you seen that guy lately? Holy crap. Oh my god. He just like
Shots fired.
gradually pancaking.
I apologize in case he's watching there, Mike.
Yeah, shots
I
fired.
still love you from Willow.
Wait, why do we now only have 799 subscribers?
Kill
God damn it, Mike.
God! Why? It's a $5,000 suit. Oh man.
Mike, did you have any?
I had one thing I wanted to talk about before we really do go, and that was I know we're not there yet, but with the return of tactics, I've been thinking a lot about the resource economy, and we just have so many resources, and they're very, very relatively complex resources. On top of having entities, on top of having all these other things. I remember last year at Nationals, the games were really they almost always went to time, and they'd be very, very low scoring, or they'd be roll-offs. Especially higher up. There were a lot of top 32 games that went into a roll-off, so people were winning just based on the final dice roll. That's a little bit absurd to me. I think that in this particular climate, we're going to end up with even slower games. I was playing a team with 3 entities on it yesterday in a practice match, and I had a pad of paper in front of me. It felt like homework, I had a pad of paper in front of me, and I was writing down, okay, and I had Ion there, so really it was more complicated. And I had to spend a good 3 minutes at least sorting out my powers, even going very, very quickly. And I think we got a total of 5 or 6 turns before it went to time. That's really, really not very much time to do any damage.
Are you thinking that it's time to institute some sort of like the old feat 10% cap, but with non-character tactics, or you just?
I don't know what I would do to balance it out, but it feels really, really long, and something's got to give. I mean that I'm predicting that we're going to hear stalling probably at our Nationals at some point.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it all last year, but
Prove it, motherfucker! Prove it.
It's funny because there's no actual official rule on what stalling is in the game. I mean, you can make a certain argument where you can turn to your judge and say, look, it's been 10 minutes, he hasn't even taken a turn, he's going first, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But without an actual rule for stalling, how are you supposed to call it out, right? Even my last opponent in the first grinder I was in, he had every option to take his full 5 minutes for a turn to just run out the clock and not do anything with his weapon or cord. He failed a regeneration roll, and then because I cleared the next turn, he was there to take his time and clear, but he just said, no, I'm going to be polite and clear and do it, and it was within his right to take the full 5. And that's one of those things is when we get into this point where we have this many things going on, it's almost time for WizKids to start defining a stalling in the game before it starts to become an actual.
Or you have to make rounds 10 minutes longer because they've added so many mechanics that straight up and in a non-stalling way, if you have a resource and an entity, entities can take me 5 minutes to figure out what I'm going to do in a turn. Because if I'm thinking out my turn and you do something different than what I planned, guess what? I got to rethink the powers I'm choosing, re-choose my construct, rethink how my team's going to play out that turn. It might take me 10 minutes before I make an action because everything's so beginning of turn now.
I can certainly see there being also something to be said for having an officially defined pre-game period. So if the game is considered to be a 50-minute time limit, then you have, even if it's just a 5-minute official, this is the beginning of the pre-game, so that's when you're supposed to read your opponent's cards and look at the resources and figure out at least some idea of what your opponent's team can do before they officially say, okay, now is time, you should now be moving figures. Or at least you should be starting to care about what you're going to do as opposed to just reading about what your opponent can do.
Yeah, because right now that actual time limit is everybody sitting down across from their opponent. And the last guy to do that doesn't get the chance to start looking at his opponent's stuff.
Yeah, if it takes the longest to get across the room.
I do personally agree that, and part of it is we got to start getting everybody who's running these tournaments, they have to be starting to run in an environment where we can't be caring about a closing time or things like that. Don't get me wrong, that's why I love an individual store, like say a Card of Magica to run it. They can turn around and go, look, this tournament is running long, but we're going to keep the store open for this tournament because it's beneficial to them. People will buy from them. I mean, Card of Magica stayed open late the first day, but we need a certain element of things to happen to the game if this complexity is going to keep happening. But at the same time, and I'm going to talk about this. I did talk about this in a bit in an episode I recently filmed. the number of the way that resources are going and the way that things are happening, I think the Pandora's Box and Rock of Eternity are the first sign of the big change in resources. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see this year is going to be a battery year. The batteries are going to be the most powerful thing on the table for this last year. This one more year, this last hurrah. Once we're through Worlds and the next cut of Modern and the batteries are gone, you're going to see a complete drop in exactly how good that the resources happen to be, if Pandora's Box and the Rock of Eternity are any indication of it.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, because Pandora's Box takes 7 turns to hit its peak. That's 7 hard turns of work that you have to do, taking power actions with your characters in order to do it. And there's no acceleration aspect to it. I mean, even the outsider doesn't actually do anything to speed it up.
It doesn't accelerate anything. It just makes it cheaper.
Yeah, it just makes it happen. And then the Rock of Eternity, just to get things to happen as fast as possible, you have to build a team with multiple TKers, which is going to take out that option of incapacitate to stop to pound up your opponent's action tokens. The Rock of Eternity just makes no sense in 300 to me. But we could see a metagame where once the batteries are gone, and I mean, like when the batteries go, that's 9 resources that function, though not 100% differently. They each have a major effect of themselves that is major. And then we're going to see the Mandarin's Ring go, which is a very toolboxy one. We're about to see the Book of Skulls and Utility Belt go away.
No, my Book of Skulls.
Yes. And I mean, this is kind of that thing where, if once all those are gone, if they continue to do what they're doing, we're going to see the resources be good, but not power battery level of amazing or Book of Skulls level of amazing. We could actually be starting to see them start to dip down. I really wish Phoenix Force was still viable in the realm of the batteries, but it's looking less and less strong.
Yeah.
Do you think, to your point, Mike, about the fact that the games are often going, 5 or 6 turns and go to a roll-off or what have you, do you think that that's going to mean that for this next round of Modern Age tournaments, we're going to be seeing a real prevalence of Alpha Strike success? Like those who are building Alpha Strike basically just getting the points fast because the time will run out before they really have a chance to balance itself out. Like, is that going to be more of a thing?
I don't think so. I mean, there's just as much Alpha Strike presence with the current figure set as there was last year. So you will see some of it. I mean, definitely. I played a Weaponer team myself last year, and I'm considering another team that is Alpha Strikey this year as well. But I do notice that the teams that seem to go through are a little bit more spread out and a little bit more tactical. Last year, though, the New Mutants team base was still very, very big. And I don't think we're going to see much of that or any team base for that matter this year. I mean, Swarm, especially in Canada, apparently, we do a lot of Swarm teams. I like the balanced approach personally, moreover than anything, where you have 2 main attackers. One goes, it's okay. We've got another to back it up. Yep. I know Jason likes to play Swarm a lot. But yeah, no, I think that what we're going to see moreover than anything is a lot of really slow-moving teams, especially with some of the Sins that came out. Yeah. They're not fast characters. I mean, the big battery this year, I think, will probably be the Star Sapphire battery. I mean, there are several that are viable, Orange being incredible, but the Star Sapphire battery, coupled with people who only take 1 tick per turn, it's going to be a very kind of, I guess, Jake Williams-y, Bizarro team style. I mean, you throw in, there's a lot of them. I'm not going to blow anybody's team out of the water here. Like, I'm not going to blow anybody's comps because I know there's a few that other people around are working on with that kind of mechanic. But I don't know. I get really bored with that kind of approach, and it just requires a lot of just sitting there and going, well, there's nothing I can do about it. All I have to do is try and take out my little tiny bit of points, like Blind Owl, or 30-point Loki, or even Despitalis is you can take him out.
No, there's never been a better time to play 3 Johnny Quicks and a Book of the Skulls with a split lip. I don't know if it exactly works out, but something like that. It's just go across the board with as much damage and attack for 1 big strike. and then have a whiskey while your opponent figures out what to do.
For
Tom,
sure.
it's subtle. What does it do? I don't get it.
It loses, actually. That's exactly what it does. It goes across the board, it does a little bit of damage, and then it all realizes that it can't heal itself, and then it cries.
Orange battery just goes no.
Yeah.
No
True.
hypersonic.
Yeah.
Green battery goes no.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Too
why
bad I can't orange away free actions.
Eh.
No.
Orange away your green power battery.
You orange away a power that's not a free action, and then you barrier behind.
Yeah.
Because your whole team gets barrier plasticity. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the things about the orange battery I noticed is on top of the emotional spectrum power, which is very versatile, if you could build a team that can pick the right powers or has the right powers that also stop your team.
Especially with that latest ruling. Sorry to cut you off, but especially with that latest ruling in regard to the improved movement, like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got to get a clarification on that. I didn't read it any further because I feel like they might have like been a little vague on the wording, or because it reads like if I have an improved movement and I use that improved movement as the counter, then you don't get improved movement. And that's shocking. It's like I just need improved movement. Ignore like the double circle one, the one that like Goblin Pillager has. If I have that, I stop your improved movement everything. Wow!
But you can reverse engineer that with just flying, because flying gives you, and you just go, okay, I shut off your improved movement because I have flying.
Yeah.
Well, fuck my day.
And what's the cheapest way that you can get an orange battery and somebody that has almost every power these days? It's the animal.
Bizarro!
Well, I think it's the Animal Man. I don't know. It's true.
Bizarro.
But for 25 points, yeah, you can do it there.
We have 85-point Batman for all the attack and damage powers, or just straight up 90-point Engineer.
Regardless of like how you get
defense power as an engineer, I think you can get more for 75 with Animal Man.
I think very true. I think you can.
Regardless of how you're getting like those different powers, I think that one of the best pairings out there could be, and this is just me spitballing, but Banshee with orange battery, because he can shoot through shit. You can't get to him because you're unable to move around. You're a foot symbol. You're just walking around like an idiot.
Yep.
You know, he's just shooting around everything.
I think Proxima would work really well with it too, because it would give you a counter for Invincible, which is the only reliable counter for Proxima.
Yep. But there's also the idea that I can stop your sharpshooter.
Yep.
I mean, and that's the thing. The orange battery does have a lot of versatility. If you have Indomitable, you stop all willpower. You can choose to stop all willpower. With the yellow battery, you can stop Quintessence. If you have Power Cosmic, stop Power Cosmic. Stop Mystics. I mean, and this is like as long as you can use that power, they can't use. So this is like beyond ignoring, beyond countering. This is the supreme stopper. And I've been mentioning this to some others. It's not limited to standard powers. So if I'm playing in a mirror match and I have a dupe and you have a dupe, well, I choose my dupe's defense power, and now your dupe doesn't have stopping. Right? So
if the most fun one for me, of course, because I love him so much, would be Beyonder. But since you can't assign him a resource, then that one's kind of out the window.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate bit. It's like they were planning that one ahead. I mean, just little things like they thought of that. They thought of that.
They thought somewhere in southern Ontario, there's somebody who's going to be a real big Beyonder fan, and we don't want them to be able to play it in every context.
Yeah, they thought beyond there.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a gimme. I don't get any points.
Well played on the pun. Jordan, anything else you want to add to the show before we start wrapping up?
No, I am good. I am speeched out. You guys got my topics covered.
Awesome. All right. So I want to once again thank you, Tom, for joining us. You're going to be a wonderful addition to the show.
Happy to be here.
It's great to have you, and we look forward to further episodes. Mike, thanks as always for joining us, and Jordan, thanks as always for joining us. And for our fans, our viewers right now, and our viewers of the archive, don't forget to keep an eye out for us 9 o'clock on every Monday. And we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget, practice makes your team better.